Hello again, this is a video intended for 5th and 6th graders. In a previous video, we looked at 8 1/4 times 1 9/10. This time we're going to look at the same two mixed numbers as a division, 8 1/4 divided by 1 9/10. This is an easy one to estimate with. A number near 8 divided by a number near 2 should give us something near 4. We can actually be a little bit better than that with our estimate, because if you think that the quotient might be 4, well, 4 times 1 9/10 will not reach 8. 1 9/10 is less than 2. 4 times 1 9/10 is less than 8. So that means that our quotient has to be greater than 4, not just close to 4, but we know that it has to be greater than 4. And make sure you agree with this before we move on. Just like with multiplication, we're going to convert these mixed numbers, because mixed numbers are kind of ugly. They're kind of they're difficult to work with. They're actually a sum. 8 1/4 is a short way of writing 8 plus a quarter. 1 9/10 is 1 plus 9/10. So let's write each of them as a single fraction. Much easier to work with in the realm of multiplication and division. 8 1/4 is 33/4. Divided by 1 9/10 is 19/10. And we're going to say that that equals question mark. Now let's go about figuring out the exact quotient, figuring out what that question mark is. Any division is a question about multiplication. This question mark has to be the number, let's call it the fraction, that we can multiply 19/10 by to get 33/4. So let me write that down here. I wrote a fraction bar. This fraction bar is going to be what this question mark is. It's going to be the fraction that we multiply 19/10 by to get 33/4. Now, first thing I'm going to do is be a little bit clever, if you don't mind my saying so. I'm going to be clever and start to build this quotient fraction by putting a 33 and a 4 there, because that's what we want to end up with. When we multiply our quotient fraction by 19/10, we want to end up with 33/4, so let's put it there. And the second clever thing to do is this. We don't want 19/10 when we do our multiplication. There's not going to be any 19 or 10 there. There's only going to be 33/4. So let's put a 19 in the denominator and a 10 in the numerator. Our quotient fraction is now 33 times 10 over 4 times 19. Why do we do that? If we multiply these two fractions together across the top and bottom, 33 times 10 times 19 is the numerator. 4 times 19 times 10 is the denominator. But as we know, with fractions, we can cancel products, like factors, top and bottom of a fraction. So we can do that before we actually multiply them together. This 19 will cancel this 19. This 10 will cancel that 10. And all we'll be left with is the 33/4. This fraction works. When you multiply it by 19/10, you get 33/4. Now, let's take a look at that quotient fraction, that fraction quotient that we just built. Middle school students forever have learned that to divide with two fractions, keep the first fraction the same, change the division to a multiplication, and flip the second fraction. I've seen this abbreviated this way: keep, change, flip. And if we do that to the 33/4 divided by 19/10, we'll keep the 33/4 the same. We'll change the division to a multiplication, and then we'll flip that second fraction. Right? Instead of writing 19/10, we write 10/19. And here's the whole point of this, the most important part. When you do 33/4 times 10/19, you get that 33 times 10 over 4 times 19. This is the quotient fraction that we built, the one that worked. when we saw our division as a question about multiplication. So this is an explanation. The way we built this quotient fraction is an explanation of why the keep, change, flip works. And it's an easy thing to remember, keep, change, flip, when you're dividing fractions. But if you understand why it works, you're more likely to remember it, you're more likely to buy into it, and your math will be a more rewarding experience for that reason. Let's go ahead now and finish and get some kind of answer that's greater than 4. Let's confirm that our quotient, which is 33 times 10 over 4 times 19. 33 times 10 is 330. 4 times 19 is 76. 4 times 10 plus 4 times 9, 40 plus 36. These are both even, so let's divide the top and bottom by 2. Maybe make our work down the road a little easier. 330 divided by 2 is 165. Half of 300 is 150. Half of 30 is 15. Put them together. 76 divided by 2 is 38. This 2 is our quotient. Converting now to a mixed number, we know that our answer is going to be greater than 4, so we might as well use that knowledge and realize that we can multiply 38 by 4 to get close to 165. 4 times 38, 32. Down the 2 carry the 3. 12 and 3 is 15. 152. Subtracting, we get 13. So the remainder is 13. Quotient divisor is 38. So we have 4 and 13 38ths. We could be confident in that answer. It's reasonable because it corresponds with our estimate that the quotient had to be a little bit more than 4. So that's it for now with this mixed number division. Keep, change, flip is a process that works. This video explained why. Please understand it. It'll be a much better experience for you going forward when you understand why you're doing things in math. Take care. See you soon.